it was just such a celebratory day that the whole world was on board. And the absolute last thing we ever dreamt of was that America, of all countries, would turn their backs on Paris.
Thank you guys both for joining us here. We're in Paris right now talking about climate change, energy breakthroughs and investments. Richard, I was hoping to start with you because you this year, you've been investing, you've been watching and involved with climate change issues for decades. But this year you went through a storm on Necker Island. You watched a Category 5 hurricane hit your island, and then another one come right after. I would love to hear from you what your experience was being in a bunker as these storms raged over your property.
Well, I love a challenge, and I've been about once every 10 years, the Caribbean is hit by a hurricane. Rather bizarrely, I'll actually cancel my flight home, my flight out of the BVI in order to be there to watch it, because it is incredible to watch. I mean, most hurricanes, the sky is beautiful, the sea is ferocious. It's beautiful. A Category 1 or a Category 2, you can just about, it's foolish to do, but sit in the swimming pool and just have your eyes out and just watch the beauty of what's going on. This year, it was actually a Category 7, technically. It was over 200 miles an hour. And you would have had to have been completely mad to have been anywhere but in a concrete bunker. And we had 50 people on the island, and we disappeared down to the bunker very quickly. For 5.5 hours, we could just hear the screaming going on outside, and things hitting the building. And then a deathly hush, and we opened the door, looked out, and it was like pictures of Hiroshima. There was not a leaf left, just all the trees were down. A lot of the Caribbean was really decimated. Dominica was, pulverized. The Virgin Islands were pulverized. Chunks of Puerto Rico were pulverized.
Bill, you must have seen the pictures. What did you think when you saw a place where you'd been many times without anything on it?
Well, I'm privileged to have been at Necker, and I'm sure Richard will be creative in restoring it to its beauty. But, it was a real tragedy for a lot of people. This whole issue of resilience, is particularly a challenge. Some of those islands have been paying massive amounts for their fuel. So thinking about how to rebuild it in a green and a resilient way, I think that's an important cause. Hopefully we can try out some microgrid technologies that could be valuable in rural parts of Africa as well. So I was glad to see the initiative that Richard's taken. As you said, he's been speaking out about this issue for a long time.
Are there times where there are things, Bill, that you really want this group to invest in? You think it's very smart, it's maybe decades out, and you've got to get everyone on board?
Well, there was a wave of green tech investing that started about 7 or 8 years ago. And there was a modest level of success. Those funds certainly didn't do as well as the equivalent software funds. And so we did have some people asking, hey, was Green Tech 2.0 going to work? Does the venture model that's worked for other industries work in energy? And the answer was that we felt we had to change the model, make a fund that would last 20 years, have the incentives for the management team be very much on impact as well as the economic. But when I called up Richard and the others, I was surprised. It didn't take much convincing that they see this as important, and so we got to critical mass pretty easily.
I think the Breakthrough Energy Fund that Bill set up, we're pretty well. We're not looking forward to making returns in our lifetime. Another fund that we've been involved in setting up called the Rise Fund, that is aimed at investing in projects that are going to better this world, including hopefully some of the projects that could be spin-offs from the Breakthrough Fund. It's a $2 billion fund, and if it succeeds, what we're hoping is that we can then start moving some of the vast amounts of pension money into investing in this area, but with a good returns. And I think, for instance, powering the Caribbean, I think you can get good returns from that. Powering the world on clean energy, I think nowadays you could get good returns on that. With Necker Island, we had insured it against hurricanes. The world needs insurance against a Donald Trump deciding not to do what's right and protect the world.
Well, you talk in your latest autobiography about your reaction when Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Accords. You were not happy, I think is probably a fair way to put it. Has your take on the situation changed at all? Do you feel things are as bad as you thought they were going to be? Do you feel like there is a role for the world to solve this problem without the U.S. being involved, or with the U.S. being involved less? Where are you these days?
Well, it makes it an awful lot more difficult. 2 years ago, when Bill, myself, and others were at Paris, I was here with the elders and with something called the B team, and we went and we saw the Indian Minister of Environment, and we're arguing with him why it was important to have him on board. We went to see the Chinese Environment Minister and was arguing why it was important to have him on board. And it was just such a celebratory day that the whole world was on board. And the absolute last thing we ever dreamt of was that America, of all countries, would turn their backs on Paris. And so, thank God there are a lot of states in America that are pushing ahead and doing the right thing. There's a lot of entrepreneurs in America that are pushing ahead and doing the right thing, the vast majority. Fortunately, the president isn't president forever, and at the very worst, we've got 2 terms and maybe only 1 term, and then we can get America back on track again.
What do you think, Bill? How important is it that America be back investing in climate change solutions? Can we hit the targets you're talking about without the federal government being very involved?
It's hard to predict because there could be innovations that will make this easier. If we don't have innovations, this is a very, very tough problem to solve, because places like India want to electrify, and that brings dramatic benefits to their people. So hopefully we'll have a clean option for them that won't involve a huge premium. 4 years is short enough that it doesn't doom things to have the U.S. out. There's probably as many Americans at this Paris event as any nationality. So I'd say it's even galvanized some to work more at different levels. But it was a setback. And I agree with Richard. I'm very hopeful that that'll be reversed as soon as possible.
It is so simple, and yet it is incredible how many Americans have been misled. And yet I think you don't have these sorts of issues in the rest of the world. And then as to loss of jobs, who wants to be a coal miner? Nobody. I really don't think anybody can say they would rather be a coal miner. I think the last coal miner in Britain went many years ago, and the people who were coal miners are now doing jobs which is much better for their health. Clean energy jobs are great jobs, and there are millions and millions of houses out there that need retrofitting and need to be made more environmentally friendly. There is millions of houses out there that need solar panels put on their roofs. There's plenty of clean energy jobs to be created and are being created.
But what do you think? Do you need to change public opinion, or can the innovations speak for themselves?
Well, I don't think you can go completely against public opinion, but public opinion, there's a huge part of the public that do see this as a problem. Really explaining what the problems are. The tragedy of these recent hurricanes is awful, but I do think we saw some movement in opinion when people saw how stark it is to be warming up the ocean that way. We don't have to get everyone to agree. Governments can be very enlightened about problems that will come down the road and help protect their citizens.
I don't know why it's so unique to America. I mean, it's whether it's all the misleading advertising, clean coal advertising, and things like that. They're relentlessly put onto your television screens, whether it's Fox. I don't know, but it is bizarre that this problem is unique to America. I mean, you don't get this problem in China, you don't get this problem in India, you don't get this problem in Europe. I mean, it's an American phenomenon, and why do America doubt the scientists? I don't know.
How do you work together? Is there anything that you look to each other and say, I've learned a lot, from Bill on this, and Bill, I've learned this from Richard, or here's stuff I want to avoid? How do you interact?
I've learned a lot more from Bill than he's learned from myself.
I wouldn't say that.
He built a formidable company, and at a young age decided to put that vast wealth that he'd created from that company into solving the problems of this world, and he's put his heart and soul into it with Melinda, and just incredible amount of respect. And occasionally, I'm fortunate enough that our paths will overcross.
Well, Richard built these collaborative groups, starting with the elders, which was a great group that talked about issues in Africa, and now he's got a group called Plan B. So that idea of bringing a diverse set of people that are admired, really getting them to speak out about issues where people may not see what really needs to get done. That's been fantastic. Luckily, Richard's got these incredible places where I've been able to go relax, and so we've been able to sail, play tennis. So I certainly owe him for some of the best vacations that I've ever had.
We were going to meet up and play some tennis this year. It's going to be slight delayed, but anyway, next year.
All right, next, when you guys do that, we want to be there with cameras, and that'll be part.
He won last time, so I've been practicing quite a bit.
Well, thank you both very much. Really appreciate it.